Hello, my name is Pankaj, and today we'll talk about the Google Assistants. Google Assistant is a personal voice assistant that offers the host of actions and integration. For example, from sending text messages, setting a reminder, or playing your favorite songs. There are 1 million plus actions available to suit a wide range of voice command. Google Assistants offer an Android as well as iOS, and it also integrated with some devices like a smartwatch, Android TV, Google's Home. We are going to look into the how to create a simple chatbot application by using the Google Assistants and put it on our website. And we'll see that in a simple 4 steps. So in the first thing we'll be doing is like we need to go and create action project. Once our action project is there, then we can integrate a dialog flow with the action project and then build a dialog flow intent that handle the responses, and then we'll test it, and finally we'll integrate it with our website. So the prerequisite for all this thing is you need to have the GCP account. GCP is Google Cloud Platform. In case if you don't have and you don't know, I have the another short video I created where I'm explaining how you can go and create your free account. And this free account of GCP come up with a $300 USD credit, and it goes can for 3 months, which is quite enough for us to explore the almost all the services which is available in GCP, as long as we are making sure we shut down the services when we are not using it. So let's get started with our demo now. So the first action for us to do is we have to create the action project. So now I'm in a GCP console here. So we need to create the action project. So the URL for the action project is console.actions.google.com. So we'll just go there and we'll need to create a new action project. So let's create the action project. So create the project, and since it doesn't fall in the first category, so we'll just create a custom action project and say next. And since this one we chatbot we are building by using the Dialogflow, we'll go and say click here to build action. It's getting ready. Yeah, so since now it is ready, so the first thing we'll need to do is like we need to go and build actions. We'll say add action, add actions, and then here we'll build action. So now it is going to the Dialogflow because seems like I was logged in, so it didn't ask me for the authentications. But in case if you're trying it first time, it might ask you to like authenticate by using whatever the Gmail account we have it for GCP, the same account it will use for everything. Say create, and the what actually we'll need to do is we'll need to create the intent for this one. So, so now there's the Dialogflow agent chatbot demo has been created. It come up with the two default intents. So one is the default fallback intent. So this is in case if someone is asking our chat box for which we haven't track any response. So in that case, either any of this response will be shown it to the user. Similarly, whenever someone come like for the first time, if someone type hi or something like that one, then this is become the welcome intent, so which is created. So we'll just keep those both intent like this one, and then what actually we'll do is I'll just create a one new intent. So in this new intent, let's give some name. So I given the name order book, and then we need to add the training phrase, right? So let's say suppose if someone comes and say I want to order books. So in our case, like we'll be creating these two, three types of parameter. For example, like the user is asking, I want to order books. So then we need to say, okay, can you tell me the name of the book, which publication, and how many copies? So these three types of question will create. So that is basically is gonna store this into the like parameters, and when once the user answer all this question, then like there is something called the fulfillment here, like from where you can web hook with your application, and those this parameter value you can pass it to our the web services, and that is where this the the backend logic can happen, and then it can book those order. But we are not going in that backend logic. My intention is to show you how you can go and create this parameter, capture the value, and once that value has been captured, then what actually will be showing it to the user. So let's go and start creating the parameters. So your first parameters will be the name of the book name, and then I'll say, okay, so basically I need to create the entity for this one. So let's first go and create the entity for the book name and for the publications. So this is where actually you go and create the entity. Before that one, I'll just remove this thing, and I'll just save, and then we'll go and create the entity. So I'll come here and I'll say the entity, create entity. I'm creating the entity, for example, for publication. So I'll say match, and then this I'll just create this three publications, for example, and Apple, and then that with the Kobo. It's for, and then save. So my publication entity has been created. I will create another entity called authors. Okay, so I'll just put the, for example, Shakespeare, and then Christie, and then I'll say save. So this should create my two entities. So now I have created my two entities, like one is the publication and another is the authors. Now if I come back to this intent, right? So I'll go to my order book intent. The order book intent, basically I had like the when the user type, I want to order the books, right? So we'll add this parameter. So your first parameter will be basically the what is the first question you want to ask. Once user asks the question, I want to order books. Okay, the first thing will be you'll be asking is like, okay, which publication, right? So let's say publication is your first parameter, right? Make it mandatory, for example, because without knowing this one, so the if you remember, we create this publication entity. So we'll have this publication entity. We'll just select this one and define the prompt. So this is prompt. This is basically it will be asking user some question like which publications, right? And then he can respond to those ones. So for example, you can create a multiple prompt. So like whenever the user come, every time it will not give the same prompt. I mean, same, it won't be asking the same question. Every time it will ask some different question. Like for example, here you can say which is your preferred publication, something like that one. Just for this, okay. And then this prompt is done, and then our first thing is done. We ask for publication, and then let's do the second one. Like we'll just check with the author, right? Like which author they want. And for author also we created the entity, and then here also like you can ask the question like name of the author, uh, or you can say which author. Just say close. And the third parameter is we need to ask it like how many number of the copies, right? So for number of copies, I'm saying copy, and then I think we have the default one. Available is the number, yeah. So this one, and because this is also mandatory, so let's have the mandatory, and here I'll say the number of copies please, and then once user answered all these three questions, then we'll give the response to the user saying, for example, so in the response I'm just going to say, okay, thanks for ordering, your publications is whatever this the variable here is, publication with the author and this number of copies will be ordering, right? And then I'll just say save, and I think that's it. Just we need to test it now. So in order to test what actually we need to do, need to go to the integration. But before that one, what I want to explain is there is something called a fulfillment, right? So currently I'm not doing any processing in the backend, right? So it is just I'm taking this into the parameter, but whatever the values which you are getting here, which you can like through the fulfillment, like through the webhook, you can send it to the your backend system, and that is where this order will get processed, and then it will return some response saying, okay, this is your order number, this is what is your publication, this author, and this number of copies been confirmed, right? So let's try to just go to this integration without saving. No, I want to save this one first. Let's say, yeah, and then this we go to the integration. Yeah, so in the integration, if you see, and there is the web demo is there, right? So this is where actually we can copy the code within our web-based application. What actually I'm gonna do is I'll just save this iframe code, and this is the code actually it need to go and set it into our website, so that like this chat box will be available for the user. So I'm just copying it here. I will also demonstrate how I'll go and add that one. So for example, now this is how this my application is gonna be look. So yeah, so if I say hi, it will say hi to me from there. Yeah, and then we'll say I want to order books. Now it is asking me which is your preferred publications. Example, if I say Kindle, which author it is asking, and just saying Shakespeare, and total number of copies. If I say, I'll say 4 copies, and then it will go in a backend, right? Like I said, by the fulfillment, you can do all these things, right? So even if I say the Kindle, it recognizes this Kindle direct publications, whatever the author is, and the number of the copies have been ordered. So this particular chat box, if I wanna put it on my website, right? So how I can put it? So let me demonstrate that. So in my case, like I have created I registered one domain called tellshortstory.com and tellshortstory.com. That's admin, right? If I can go here and create one simple page, right? Just for the demo purpose. So if I comes here and if I say add new page, right? So this is the domain which I register. If you wanna know how I set up all these sites and how I register, there are the couple of videos which I did, right? You can have a look under my channel, not chatbots. Okay, so in the chatbots, what actually we'll just go and do is I'll just go and copy that code which actually I was having here, right? This is the code I was talking about, and this code needs to be HTML code, right? And then for example, if I just copy here and if I say, yeah, and this is my chatbot application has been come there, right? So I'll just say publish, and publish means now this page will be available for user to view it, right? So now this is my chatbot application, for example. I'll say hi. Which Apple. And if I give some any user, right, like because currently we just added only the two users, two authors in our list. If I say something else, right, for example, still, so again it will keep me asking which author. It's because in our entity list we just included the two authors, so it has to be the one of those author, otherwise it will not let us go further. So because now it matched to one of the entity, so that's why it's allowing us to go to the number of copy 5, for example 5, and then okay. So this is what actually I wanted to demo, because nowadays whenever you go to any website, right, like at most of the places the chatbot comes, right? So how does it work and how simple it is? So if you have any comments or if you have any questions, and anyway, thanks for watching.